What is up, YouTube? It's Kingfisher745, and in this video we'll be doing all 5 of Groot Simulator Challenges and unlocking his movie alt. Now for these first few challenges, I'm using the Hardened Empowered ISO weight and the Vengeful Empowered ISO weight. I do recommend the Vengeful E-ISO because it can give you an extra turn when protecting, and even though there's no one else to protect, it can still trigger. It's practically invaluable to gain an extra turn, so that's why I recommend this E-ISO. And trust me, you're going to see it proc on many occasions throughout this video. As far as the sims, the first one is a solo fight just like always, and it's going to be your Groot versus a Scrapper. This fight is very easy because of course you're strong against a Scrapper, and you're going to gain Enraged. Now what I like to do is start a fight by using our level 2, that is a quick action, and it applies Hobbled, Broken Will, and Off Balance. I think it's worth it for Broken Will alone because it's going to lower the damage of the next attack. Then I'm going to use our level 1, and that applies Thorns and puts Pressure Points debuffs on the enemy. Then with these debuffs, Groot's level 6 attack, I Am Groot, can gain an extra attack. Well, at least it's much more likely because it goes from a 20% chance to a 60% chance. And by the way, you will notice that we did gain an extra turn, and that's because of Vengeful Empowered ISO weight. We didn't need it at all in this first fight, but we definitely can use it in the future. Now moving on to the second sim, it's going to be against multiple enemies. One of them is a Scrapper, and the other is a Blaster. So it's the class you're strong against and your counter class. I recommend taking out the Blaster first because he provides the biggest threat. We start out once again with our level 2, and then we'll follow it up with a level 1. Because of this, we also gain Thorns, so whenever Knuckles attacks us, he's going to take bleed damage. Plus, he enrages us, so it's fine to leave him for last. Next, the enemy Bullets is going to use Raining Lead, and this attack actually procs our Vengeful E-ISO, so we get a big and fast proc. There you see it on Groot, it says chance to get an extra turn when hit while protecting. And now with our 2 turns, we can first use our level 6 on the Blaster. This does enough damage to take him out, and then we'll use our level 1 once again on the Scrapper. That also KOs him, so that's going to be the end of sim number 2. Now moving on to challenge number 3, I know that some people are having trouble with this one. You have to effectively use Cutting Groot, and you're going to be facing Havoc. The whole point of this one is that Havoc is going to knock you out, and then you have to build yourself back up. Of course, he's going to use Plasma Wave, and he gets to start the battle, so he's going to obliterate Groot. I will tell you this, we do get a Vengeful proc, and it's going to make this much, much easier. But I will tell you how to do it if you don't get this proc. For one, you can increase your healing in cutting form by using the Sympathetic E-ISO. This says that buff abilities will also give you back some HP. Oh, and I meant to say this as we got hit. Finish him, Babality. But anyways, now that we're cutting, I'm going to go ahead and use our level 6. This causes our next buff action to be a quick action. This worked perfectly because we had an extra turn. Otherwise, you may want to use his level 9 first, and that gives you an extra turn. So with Sympathetic, it would give you 10% HP, then an additional boost, and then you could use either your Rally ability, or you could use your level 1 for big health regen. By the end of this, I'm going to be at full health, and then the other good thing is Havoc does have to recharge because of Kicks Like a Mule. So it's good they do give you a fighting chance. We get even luckier because he also gets a Cower proc. So with full HP and full stamina, I use our level 2, and then our level 1. After this, I noticed that Havoc starts using Shattering Punch, so he's going to take bleed damage. With your next attack, you can use your level 6, or if you have your level 9, you can try it. I thought that maybe we could knock him out with ours, so I went for it, and we did come up just short. Luckily, the bleeding is going to finish him off, and that's the end of sim number 3. Moving on to challenge number 4, the tooltip has maybe never been so accurate before. It says to use Thorns effectively, and they aren't kidding. In this fight, Thorns are basically going to do all the work for you. We're going up against 2 Infiltrators, and the very first thing we're going to do is use that level 1. Well, that is after we use our quick action at least. Right away you may have noticed these are those annoying enemies that take a ton of attacks. So by using our level 1 and placing thorns, we're going to get tons of bleed damage on these enemies. By the time it's our turn again, they're going to be quite hurt. Oh, and did I mention they're also hard to hit normally? So yes, use thorns, keep it on Groot, and you shouldn't have any trouble beating them. Since that's basically all the strategy you'll need for this one, I'm going to go ahead and talk about the final task. You're going to be facing a scrapper green goblin and 2 flying minions that explode. Now the bad part about this fight is he's going to put a corruption on you that continues to grow and do more damage. What I'm going to do is show you a few ways to deal with this, and then we'll go into the battle itself. One of the biggest tips revolves around the fact that you have to use recharge anyways to remove the corruption stacks. So just think about that for one moment while we finish these deltas. Pretty soon we're going to have the bottom one down, and then we'll only have one to go. We're pretty lucky that they don't do that much damage because they sure do a high volume of attacks. At 3 stacks of bleeding, this guy is maxed out, and he's going to finish himself off by hitting us. Then after this blurred punches, we do get an attack with Groot, and we're going to pretty easily take out the final enemy. Well, I guess I spoke too soon because he's going to attack again. He'll take even more bleed damage, but now we finally do get to hit him, and we end it with an I am Groot. Okay, so before we do the final sim, I'm going to go ahead and show you those E-ISO and our ISO build for Groot. Now earlier I was using Hardened and also Vengeful E-ISO, but I changed out Hardened for this final sim, and I replaced it with the Recovering and Powered ISO 8. What this E-ISO does is it causes recharge to restore some HP. Well, like I mentioned earlier, you're going to be using recharge to remove those corruption stacks. So in addition, you'll gain back some HP each time you do that. Then my regular ISO 8 build for Groot mostly has Forceful. This is attack, defense, and accuracy, and we have 6 of those, and 2 stalwart. Those are for health, attack, and defense. Then I do have one more tip involving E-ISO, and basically that's, if you don't have the Vengeful E-ISO, I think that there's another pretty good one that you could use for this fight. It's called the Sheltered and Powered ISO 8. And what it's going to do is give you a shield whenever you use recharge. So when you use recharge to remove those corruption stacks, you're going to gain back HP, and you'll give yourself a shield. This should definitely come in handy and help you win. Alright, so moving on to the final sim, let's go ahead and take on Green Goblin and his minions. Like I said, they are those 2 flying demons that explode once you kill them. Then one last thing that I do want to note is you can win this if you go into cutting. Sure, it's easier if you don't get knocked into that form, but you can come out of it. Now once this fight begins, I like to start out by using our level 2 on Green Goblin. This is going to lower the damage of his next attack. So let's go ahead and put that Broken Will on him, and then we'll use our level 1. If you were wondering the name of these abilities, it's I am Groot. By the way, the other good thing about our level 1 is it can place Weakened, so it can severely hurt their damage. Next up is going to be the First Blaster, and they typically use a Sulphurous Belch. It does an okay amount of damage because it crits, but notice that Green Goblin does hardly any damage at all. Plus we get a Big and Fast proc, and now we can use our level 6 on the Goblin. I'm really hoping for that extra attack, but it seems like I never get it. That could make a huge difference because we're going to have to waste yet another turn killing him. I suppose we'll go ahead and use a level 6 again, but it really doesn't matter. Next turn, because of the increasing corruption, we'll probably have to use recharge, but at least we'll gain back some HP. If it wasn't for that increasing corruption, this sim would be much, much easier. But I guess that's the whole point of it. So anyways, like I said, we have to use recharge, and now we shrug it off. We also gained back nearly 2000 HP, so that's a big boost. Next, I'm going to begin using our level 6, and that way we can ground both of these flyers. If you have his level 9 unlocked, once you ground both of them, you can finish them off simultaneously. That truthfully is a great way to do it because they'll end up blowing each other up, so you'll only take one of the explosion damage. Here we do get pretty lucky as far as the length of this one because we end up barely living, and we don't have to go into cutting form. Alright, so here goes nothing, and I am Groot. By the way, it's also a guaranteed crit right now, so there goes a double crit, and one will blow up the other. That's exactly how this one's going to end, and we finally finish all 5 sims. After this one, not only do we get to buy the Guardian Groot uniforms, we also get the Guardian insignia. If you finished all the other Guardian challenges, you should have all your holes punched. This is going to allow you to become an honorary Guardian, and I cannot wait to use this team up. I'm thinking Guardian Groot, then an agent with a resurrect weapon, and basically we're going to be extremely annoying and tough to kill. Then I'll probably try out our best friend Rocket, and then of course Star-Lord. Alrighty, let's make this official. Here's your shiny new Guardian insignia. As long as you're wearing this, you're an honorary Guardian of the Galaxy. Or just of Earth at least. And here it is, the Guardian insignia. So what it does is it makes you an honorary Guardian, it provides survival training to all Guardians, and it's a quick action that gives rising up. Don't worry, we'll definitely be taking a look at this, and we'll make plenty of Guardian team-up videos. Lastly, I want to take a look at the Guardian Groot uniform, and then we'll wrap up the video. So here it is, it's 50 CP for the Bruiser, and 65 for a Generalist. The Guardian passive is well rooted. Guardians of the Galaxy are immune to fatal blows, and Guardians take 50% less damage when their health is below 35%. That's definitely pretty awesome, and I'm probably going to buy the Bruiser first. Generalists are pretty great, especially because of the inspiring and powered ISO weight, which of course grants morale boost. And then having a Generalist Protector could definitely have its benefits. Groot would basically have no weaknesses, but I have to say the Vengeful E-ISO is just so amazing that I really want to use it. Plus, if the enemies are going to use blasters, I'm probably going to have my agent as a tactician, and he will definitely make them pay for that one. So there you have it, the Guardian Groot and all of his sims. Please stay tuned and make sure to subscribe because I will have some team-up videos coming very soon, featuring this new costume and the Guardian insignia. Lastly, I'd like to thank you all for watching, and ask you to please like, comment, and share the video. And until next time, good luck, and take care.